Hey, what is up guys? For this type of video, I'm going to be showing you all the basics to Rooms 2.0. Alright, once you create a Rooms 2.0 room, you should see you have the platform and not the maker room. And you'll have this welcome mat because you use the welcome mat for Rec Room Studio. Rooms 2 is mainly built for Rec Room Studio, or at least it's just really good with Rec Room Studio. And when you open your palette, you can see that you have a new tab right here called the Hierarchy. And just like Unity, you could see all of the objects that are in the room right now. These ones right here that are grayed out are frozen ones, and this one is welcome mat, so if I select it, then it's like selected. So if I go to my move tool, then I could move it like that. So if you can't really find any objects, you could just like go into your hierarchy and select it like that, and then just bring it up. Alright, so now if I create a cube, if you do build a lot in Rooms 1, and you create a cube, you might notice that you can't click edit out when you create a cube. Because in Rooms 1, when you create a cube, you're editing inside the cube, and then you have to drop your maker pin or click edit out to edit out of the cube. But in this one, it's not like that. It's just the cube, and if I just create another cube, then you could see these aren't merged together. So if I go to my hierarchy, you could see that there is these two shapes I just created right here. But you might be wondering, how do I even merge them? If I select them both, you can see that there's no merge option. It's because you don't really need a merge option when we have parenting. So if you select both your things, you can click right here, add selection to new container. What that does, it will merge them as you can see, but it adds these to a full new like container. So I'll try my best to visualize this. So pretend this is the container and this is the object we just had. I'm gonna also clone this to have two of them. So I can see I could select both of these cubes, but if I put both of these in here inside of the container, then if I move this container right here, then it's going to move everything that's inside of it, so these two cubes. I could also, if I clone this cube, maybe I will scale it down. I'll scale this one down too. Put it right there, so there's two cubes right there, and get another container. Now put this right here. So you could see that these two cubes are inside of this container, which are inside of this container. So if I go back to my container right here, I can edit into it by just clicking edit and edit into it. And now it says editing container. And by doing the same thing as I did that, if I clone this and select these two right here, I could add these to a new container like that. So now I'm editing inside this container and I have this full new container right here. So if I edit out of it, I am now editing the room, which as you can see now, all of these are merged. So then I could just edit into it, which is editing this container. I could move this cube if I want, and then I could edit into this container. But when you edit into container, you could see that you will have this pivot point right here, and you could actually select it and move it around. So now if I go into my hierarchy, these are still in a container right here. Then you could see that I could see this container in my hierarchy, and you can see there's an arrow right here. If you click that arrow, you could see what is containing this container. You can see that we have the container I just created, so these two objects inside this container, and that shape, which is that shape right there. And I click this arrow too to see what's inside of this container, which is these two shapes. So whenever you are starting in a Rooms 2 room, I would always recommend to select something like this. And you either create something and add that to a container and keep on editing in that container and just keep on creating in a container just to make it organized, or you select this and click create basic container. So now I have created one of these containers with no objects in it. So if I go to my hierarchy right here, then you can see I have this container right there, and it doesn't have an arrow next to it because it doesn't have any cubes in it. I could also click this button right here to rename the container. And now if you click your connect tool, then I can drag and drop this cube into this container right here, which will put the cube into the container. So if I go to my hierarchy, then I can see that container has this cube in it. But then I could also edit into the container and select the cube. So I think usually there will be an edit out and move to room selection. I might be just doing this wrong or something. If I click put in a container, just put that in container. Yeah, right there. Edit out and move to room. Then I can take this cube out of the container. Same thing if you go to your hierarchy and click the container. So that would be this container right here. I can click the shape that's inside of it and drag it so you can see this. And I can either put it in other containers like this, or where you see the line right there, I can drop it and it moves to the room. So now you can see the container, which is the pink thing, and the shape right here. Alright, so now we just have this normal shape without any container. It's not any container, but if I configure it, then you can see like I'm editing into it. I could just change the texture size and then just like change any of these settings. But if I put this in a container, and configure that, then now I am editing the container, and I can name it the container and turn off collision. I could turn on physically simulated and turn off use gravity, so now it doesn't use gravity and it could just like be in space or something. So this is one of the really cool things that I thought was about Rooms 2.0. You don't need gravity. And then you could just change any of these other settings if you wanted to. So now that was basically it with just all of the hierarchy and containers and parenting. One of the other things about Rooms 2.0 is you could search up a definition board right here. Player definition board. It might not seem that cool, but if you edit into it, you can see that we have the walking footstep sounds for the players. So you can edit into that, and there's more tips. And these SFX have, or if you configure the SFX, you could, right here, default footstep 1, which is just some of the footsteps. So I could just delete all of these chips and not have the audio for the footsteps. And you could put anything, like any other chips in between these chips, so you could completely change on how a player walks. So if I edit out of this and click edit and edit into locomotion, then I could completely change just on anything on how what a player does, pretty much. Like, yeah, wall climb, maybe something will execute when a player sprints, or any of this stuff. So if I configure the player definition board, if you scroll down right here, this is gonna be your player editing. So you would use this player definition board instead of using game rules, like how Rooms 1 had it, where you'd have to go to this room and game rules. But now you just get this chip out, change all of these settings, and then you click active right here. But if you edit into it and edit back out and it is active, it'll just give you this warning. I'm just gonna click no. So if you do any updates to it, you're gonna want to configure it and just click push update definition. Don't want to put too much stuff in it, because you can see the memory right here. It tells you, and you do not want this too high or it'll cause a lot of lag. So I just want to try this. If I click this, delete all board content, confirm delete, yes, then I can't move. I am completely stuck. I can't even, oh, I could fly. Yeah, it's because I have maker pin. What if I just delete this and get another one, configure that, and activate this one? Then I should just be able to move again. Also, about Rooms 1, usually you would have to have a clamp to clamp a trigger volume and a cube together. But for Rooms 1, you could just parent almost anything together. So I could parent this to this, and like that, it is parented together. Like, I just merged these two. And you can see it also created a chip to this. So if I edit into this, then you can see right here is the trigger volume chip, and you could just put anything inside of this. You could do the same with like a trigger handle, and then I could just like drag this to, oh, it doesn't want to do it, but you could create any output or input on the chip right here. Also, you don't have to have a trigger volume or something that has a chip to make a chip on the cube. You could just configure the cubes now, or any object you have, and scroll down and just click create object board, and now instead of using tags to get the object, you can now use this chip right here. But also, it is better if you do have a object, or you first made something, you always want to click it and click put in container and then configure it, and then click create object board, because now it's just, you just have a lot more accessibility to the object. Like, you could edit into it and put anything else in it, or you could even move the pivot point around. So there is a lot more accessibility and configuration with Rooms 2.0, but like I said, it can be very like laggy or just really buggy at sometimes. So I'd recommend on just making sure what game or room you want to make first before creating a Rooms 2.0 room, because there's a lot of things like replicators and grabbers that are in Rooms 2.0 that are extremely useful that Rooms 1 does not have. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this how-to video. Please let me know on any other how-to videos you want me to make. I'll see you guys in the next video.